following is a Live the Dream Media production.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Local Marana, episode 41. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah. Hey, welcome to this is your first time.
This is my first time in the new setup.
On the new setup.
Now I see what everybody's all talking about. I could literally just go to I can go to sleep.
Yeah. Got
right
the
here.
feet up on the table.
I saw all these other podcasters enjoying the new setup, and I'm like, man, I wonder what that's like. Here we are, huh?
Yeah.
Finally.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny though when you're one of the co-founders and you're just watching everybody else do their thing and you're over there wheeling and dealing and chipping away.
We've been doing some wheeling and dealing.
We have. Here in Marana doing different things, and yesterday we had a spectacular lunch at the Westward Look. I had this whiskey Delback burger.
I couldn't remember the name. I posted a picture of it a while ago. Vera
Earl. Yeah. So if you're looking for some good food that you probably haven't tried yet, if you go to the Westward Look Resort, you can just go eat. You can go have lunch and just have a good time. I mean, you don't got to stay there.
Beautiful views,
but
beautiful views inside or out. Go out when you can when the weather's right.
Yeah,
and you see the valley. It's really cool.
Yeah,
they got some cool things going on over there.
They do. A lot
of plans for the
food
future.
Is man.
John and Richard and Kim, that group over there, they are rocking it. They are, and so historic.
Yeah. So if you're wondering where the Westward Look is, if you go east on Ina, so we're at Ina and Old Father. Mm-hmm. So if you were leaving our spot and you went east on Ina Road and you drove up there and you got to almost to Oracle, right?
You go on the other side of Oracle. You go on the east side of Oracle.
East side of Oracle. Keep going past Oracle. Yeah. It's going to be on your left.
Second light. If you're on Ina, going east
from Oracle,
it's the second light. There's that little the one that gets you in and out of the grocery store and does the U-turn.
Yeah,
to do the Mississippi, what's that called? Michigan U-turn or whatever. So that's the little short one, and then the second one is westward. Be ready to get in that left lane.
So if you have any issues finding this place, we covered it on our end. Okay, we explained it. So if you can't Google it and you need to come reference this, go to like the 2-3 minute mark of the show and you'll be able to figure out.
Yeah. Hey, nurse, you know what? The history there, being an old dude, and I always was a history buff, but the history of that
facility, man.
John Wayne and Dean Martin,
the Cowboys,
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus was.
I'm not gonna say how Santa plays into that. You need to Google that. But there's a Santa reference there that's really cool. And it's the same age as the state of Arizona. 1912 was when it was built. First oldest resort in the area.
Hey Shay, I don't know if we're live on Local Marana's Facebook page, but I'm looking and it's not, and we're hearing it's not. So if you could fix that for us on the broadcast stream. Everybody, if you haven't met Shay is our newest audio visual engineer, so she's still learning a lot of the
she's killing
components. She's doing great. She had a crazy dynamic show before.
Yeah, there she is. She made she made a cameo. I saw you there, Shay.
Yeah, she's got a lot going on. Today was insane. Like I told her, I was like, you get through today, you can get through anything. She had
live
a band on the stage. She had
multiple times on stage. Were they rocking it
in here? Yeah, it was great. The Top Gun song at the beginning was the coolest thing ever. So if you guys missed that, go check out Chris's Wake Up episode from this morning. It should be on the Facebook.
I'm trying to think of what time that was. About 8 o'clock. Roughly just a little bit before 8 o'clock is when the Top Gun.
Yeah.
And then they played Bohemian Rhapsody. And
trumpets and trombone.
When they did a great job.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to think of what the other song they did. But yeah, just before the 8 o'clock hour and just after the 8 o'clock hour on the Chris DeSimone Show. Wake Up.
Yeah.
On the Live to Dream Network.
Any update on the Facebook stream for Local Marana, Shay?
It says it's unable to connect. So
it's on This Is Marana. I can see that.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Well, refreshed. So hopefully.
Okay.
No, it's still unable.
Oh, no worries.
We're experiencing technical difficulties.
It's all right. We'll just share the other one.
I shared the This Is Marana
on the Local Marana. on the fly?
I didn't know that. No.
Oh, you're just sharing it on your personal stuff?
You mean do that?
No,
I'll do
that's
that.
cool. I got it.
You got it?
I got it.
Well, somebody needs to look at the. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
See, he's a little more tech savvy. I watch these younger kids; they just fly on that.
It's funny in this world of new stuff we're doing. You're at the will of a lot of different technical pieces, right? So you have everything that happens in here, and then you have the platforms themselves will do some quirky stuff. So you have to navigate around those, right? So we just on the fly on air navigate it. Okay, well let's get it at least shared on the page from another streamed
page.
source, which is cool. But if you're listening on the app, you don't have an issue at all because the app comes straight from the studio. Well, look how
smart you are if you're listening to it on the app.
Yeah.
You guys are the smartest.
Yeah, you downloaded it, which is free. The app is the Live the Dream Media app is free, so you're already saving money, right? And you're not providing your email or anything like that. You're just rocking out to music when the shows are off, and you're listening to all the shows that are going on. Yeah. And thank you to the 3,206 app users we have now. We appreciate
you. Now, but a little more than that. But that's
that was as of Sunday.
Yeah, well, it's up a couple.
Not that I'm keeping track.
Yeah. You know what's cool? Being numbers guys like David and I, geeks. I'm a geek when it comes to numbers. We got so many numbers.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to register all of them. Mm-hmm. Hey, you mentioned TV and radio stations.
Yeah.
Not going to give anything away, but we're building more as we speak.
Yeah, can't say the names.
Not giving anything away. No, there's at least 2 right now, strong in the hopper.
I love it.
Yeah. Hey, you mentioned an incredible lunch yesterday, and it was hanging out with our buddy John Alt, and he got a new hat. Mm-hmm. He's a big man, isn't he? He's bigger than Chris.
He's 6. I think he said he's 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, he's bigger than Chris, and Chris is pretty big. If you ever see pictures of David and I,
I was standing next to both of them yesterday. It was like, take your kid to work day. Yeah.
Yeah, I encourage you to go see that picture. It's all over Facebook. It's a good picture. But you're such a good-looking dude, standing right up there next to them.
My wife would agree.
Guys. Yeah. So. Well, and I would too, But Tammy and I, we had an incredible dinner last night. You want to guess where we had dinner at last night?
Oh, man. Let me take
Marana?
A stab at the dark here. The Highlands of Dove Mountain.
Yeah. Our good friends Bob and Beverly Elliott, African-American Museum, Southern Arizona, former NBA basketball player. We talked a little bit about the NBA because he was just in San Francisco at the All-Star. And I'm like, Bob, let's be real. This new NBA, almost unwatchable.
What did he say?
He said 100%, and then he nudged Beverly, and I said, "And load management, I don't even know what is that? You're getting paid 50. Some of these guys 50, 60 mil a year, and you can't play every game."
Yeah. What a joke.
Wilt Chamberlain back in now I'm old. Now I sound like an old man, which I am. Wilt Chamberlain 1 year, I don't remember when it was, but back in the 60s, the NBA is 48 minutes, averaged more than 48 minutes because he played every minute of every game, including every overtime. Mm-hmm. And these guys are they're playing 1 day a week. I kind of get where, it's basketball is by far, football is the most violent, hockey is the most violent, but basketball has got to be the most demanding.
I don't sympathize at all.
But if you're making 50 or 60, they all did.
Yeah, no.
Every person up till now did. Here's the problem. The regular season doesn't count for much. That's your problem. Because you've got 10 teams from each division getting in, or each conference, out of 15. So we got subpar 500 teams getting in.
Yeah.
But we had a long chat about that, and he started talking about some of the old schoolers, and they're trying to figure this thing out. I didn't mean to go off on an NBA rant on local Marana.
Hey, but, you know what? You're not the only one. I mean, I've seen it on a lot of the popular ESPN shows that are going on right now, and it's it goes back to a lot of things that we have problems with here in this country right now. You know what?
You're right, David.
And it's the continuation of softening.
You're right. 100%.
Softening folks. Like we just don't. We really. I'm young. I've considered myself young, right?
You are.
Yeah, I'm 36. Okay,
yeah, you're a young guy.
But even I'm seeing just the weathering of the grit that we have as people of this country. And I don't want to go down this negative road about it or anything, but I saw something when we saw the USA Canada hockey game.
Mm-hmm.
That to me, that game was a symbol of so much more than just hockey.
Mm-hmm.
It was a symbol showing that we still have that grit.
Right.
Right, we do.
Share with because there may be some of our viewers or
the
audience
USA,
that didn't catch
USA versus Canada game, the first game, the first game of the Four Nations tournament. There was some booing that happened during the national anthem when the USA was the selected presenter was singing, and it turned into a complete ass whooping.
They were playing Canada,
and they just
Canadian audience.
Ass. They whooped Canadian ass. They waxed
literally
the floor with Canadian ass everywhere. I mean, it just ass.
Yeah,
kicking.
Imagine that. A boxing match broke out at the.
But it showed a lot of things. It showed a lot of spirit. You saw people in the country, especially on social media, they were just amped about it, right? And people were getting behind the grit and the fight and the spirit and the I hate to say it, the masculinity of it. And if you're because here's the deal. It's a men's sport, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about dudes on ice, all right? And it just showed so much more. And it was like this correcting of all this crazy stuff we've seen over the last couple years, right? With all these different programs and the curtains off. But it's just like, we talk about the NBA, they're part of that whole softening, right? You have these grown men, right? Trying to do load management and everything. I remember watching the NFL, and this is not long ago.
When the NFL falls right into this category too.
And I'm gonna say the same thing. But I'm thinking of games about in the Brady era, 2000s. I remember seeing linemen I think Jeff Saturday for the Colts, right? Mm-hmm. Other linemen would just do anything to keep their streak of being in the game. Yeah. The whole just keep their streak of starting the game, being in the game alive. They would do so much, whether it was different techniques of rehabilitation and other things. Now it's you just have, and it's the same thing. And I'm gonna say I blame the schools and parents for a lot of this stuff. But you got these people just trying to figure out ways to just live life as a victim. Yeah. It's how can I be a victim today? How can I get people to feel sorry for me? How can my body's getting too beat up? You know what I mean? It's just crazy.
When I was, and I'm old, but and I think this goes all the way back. But there was a pride factor in you showed up right, you showed up ready to go. We were talking about this yesterday, David. Yeah. There was a time. Look at old pictures of spectators at a ball game, baseball game, typically. They're all wearing suits. I'm not suggesting we need to wear suits to ball games. That's not the point. But there was a pride factor. You flew on an airplane, you got dressed up. Mm-hmm. There was a pride. You showed up for work. You put in the time, right? You just did. There was a pride factor. Now, pride goeth before the fall. I'm not saying don't get caught up in your own self-importance, I guess, for the lack of a better word. But you should, it was just taught. And you mentioned parents. That's something we talk about in basically every episode that comes out of Live the Dream Media at some point. Parents this is where it starts. Mm-hmm. It came up in conversation last night with Bob and Beverly. How did this happen? Well, it starts with the parents. And when you've got generational parents now that have been part of this system for a while, well, it's okay to take the easy way out, take the shortcut, be the victim. And if you want to be a winner, and plenty of people are winning, don't be that. Yeah. Do something. Look, here's another theme. Don't follow the crowd. How about that? Right? Yeah. Get in the short line, not the long line. Because the long line's probably got it wrong.
Right. There's a cultural acceptance and love with being mediocre. Yeah. And all the media outlets that are out there, CNN, trash. MSNBC, trash.
They're all trash.
They're all trash.
They're all propaganda machines. I don't care which way they slant.
And they push this mediocrity to everybody, and it's just.
You know why they do it, David? Yeah. You know why? Honestly, I believe this. The ones. I'm not accusing everybody at the top of doing this, but there's plenty of them. They just don't want you competing with them. So if they can beat you back and keep you down, then they get to stay at the top of the heap. They're not. I had someone say to me about running for elected office recently, and that person said to me, well, I just don't feel like I'm qualified. I don't think I'm smart enough. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? Half of the people that we have elected from local to the federal government, half of them can't string together a conjugated sentence if they had to. They don't know what the facts are, right? I mean, I know that, and I'm speaking from factual statements, not I think I heard this or someone, because I challenge everybody. And quite frankly, most of them, hey, I don't expect everybody to know everything, but you ought to know the basics. Okay. Enough about the NBA and all that stuff. You know what?
Well, no, it connects into our episode. We're talking about stuff, and that ties into that. But we'll get into some more. We covered the national part of our show, right? Yeah. You go, oh, it's local Marana. Yeah. Why are you talking about national stuff? Well, we want people around the world to know about Marana. Because if they come here and they visit and they stay at places, they check out the leisure things there are to do.
Hey, David, another reason why ratings are better when you push the status quo.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I was looking at Spotify, not to get into specifics, but the hardcore stuff that people push, 5 of the top 10 Spotify shows are people that are holding others accountable, including ourselves.
Yeah.
You think it's... Our listeners and viewers might go, boy, those guys can point the finger. We hold ourselves. Is this true to say, David?
I get at least 5 text messages or calls a day critiquing things here because we asked for it. And we fix them.
You must be doing something wrong because I get about 4 times that many.
Yeah.
And like, hey, you could, yeah. And you know what? I take every one of them serious, even if I don't think there's even any validity to what they're saying. Because first off, they don't know what we're doing. It's real easy to stand on the outside and point a finger at somebody, right?
Yeah.
But I take them all serious because if you took the time to critique us, good or bad, I'm going to respond to you.
Yeah.
I owe it to you. Now, if you're mean and hateful, I'm probably going to just hit delete. But if you're right, do you respond?
I respond to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking to somebody last night in a position of power, if you will. They had a whole bunch in their mailbox that they needed to respond to. And I'm like, are you going to respond to all of them? They're like, absolutely.
I will clarify something. If you're one of the 148 text messages I haven't opened yet, I apologize. It's been a crazy couple weeks, but I will get to you. I'm not saying that to be like cocky,
you know what?
But that's just where my phone's
I'm
at.
Guilty as
charged. I love all you guys, but like I'm getting through different things here.
I'm guilty as charged because I'm an on-time guy. Everything got to be done before the deadline. I got 2 things that are really, really important, and I apologize to those people yesterday that I have not been able to. And you know what? Actually, there's really no excuse for that because I could have probably done these things if I'd have prioritized them. And I actually, in all honesty, I didn't.
So for anybody trying to get a hold of me now, just reach out to Clint at 510.
I'm on another thing right now.
Just go to him. I don't. Yeah. Well, hey, let's go to a quick commercial break. We'll come back. I want to talk about Soul Dog Lodge, which is a new dog lodge over here off of Tangerine Business Loop. She's in the Impact, the person that runs that whole thing. Shelly Harris is her name. She's just an awesome lady, and she is in the Impact Marana class with me through the Marana Chamber, and we'll talk about that and wish them the.
Hey, if you got anything you want to throw at us for 477-1106 is our number. You can drop a comment in there. We'll do our best to respond to them.
All right, we'll be back.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair. My drains were clogged. I was really in despair. So I called some guy. You've never seen such a mess. And every time he leaned over, well, you can probably guess. Now I get it done right by Picture Rocks Cooling. They're neat and clean, peachy keen. Really no fooling. Got a problem? Just call up and help is coming. Picture Rocks Cooling, heating and plumbing.
Hi, I'm Alan Murdoch. For the past 20 years, I've been buying, fixing, and selling properties right here in Southern Arizona. And I want to buy your property. Whether it's a house, apartment, commercial building, or vacant land, regardless of the condition or the situation, I want to talk to you. When you sell to me, I pay cash and it's hassle-free. No repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. If you have a property you don't want to deal with and you want a quick solution, call, text, or visit selltalon.com. Again, that's selltalon.com.
Discover the power of 88 Crime. where your anonymous tips are rewarded with cash. When you call in anonymously with a tip, you are given a code. With the code and a password, you can walk into a bank and redeem your reward anonymously. If your anonymous tip results in a felony arrest, you can claim up to $2,500 cash reward. Let's stop the silence on crime and strive for a safer community. For more information, please visit 88crime.org or call 88crime.
Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net. We can print anything on our soft vanilla logo cookies. We deliver them and other sweet treats locally. We are located at 4249 West Ina Road, Suite 121. Call us 520-300-1131. We bake smiles. Copper Creek Cookies, Copper Creek Cookies, coppercreekcookies.net.
You're listening to the Live the Dream Media Network, Arizona's premier live podcast studio and online radio.
And we're back. Okay, I want to jump into the Soul Dog Lodge.
Yeah.
And they have a new 9,000 square foot facility over here in Tangerine. And I want to congratulate Shelly Harris and her team for doing that. So if we can get the air horn and the applause for that. Shelly, we love what you're doing. Keep doing what we're doing. We're all dog lovers here, pet lovers. So I got my little rat terrier who's my main dude. He's been around for a long time. He loves her kids, even when they pick on him. He's just the sweetest dog. I love dogs, man. Yeah, cats aren't bad too, but I'm allergic to them. They mess me up.
No, we've had a few cats in our day.
I don't know.
Not recently. I mean, we got dogs.
Hey, it was really cool having Vice Mayor Roxanne Ziegler here last week to talk about.
You guys covered a lot of ground, didn't you?
We sure did. We talked about the downtown and the proposal, and we talked about the fees for the new community center and why those fees were put in place and how they got there. Yeah. And
hey, they're all en route to a retreat right now. So if any of them are listening, shout out to our elected officials from
have a good time.
Marana.
Yeah.
I think they'll be there till Friday afternoon.
Yeah. It was just a great conversation. It was good to get a in-depth approach as to all the whys, right? When we get information, a lot of people are just hitting the headlines. They're hitting the standard little bit, right? So having her come in and do a long form interview about the whys, who was involved, and how it makes sense to them. You know, it was interesting. You know, she expressed that she was listening to the show when we were talking about it, asking like why, how, and it's just so cool. I was sharing with some of the other people on the team, and we're just like, see, this works, right? Yeah. So we communicated questions and concerns about something. The right person heard it, and then they came on the show the next week, right? So like, not only do you have the communication from the town, but you have people here working in media to get out a long form interview of it. Because
we get thanked a lot, David, by leaders and people that come on these shows, officials, that they do have a long form. I mean, we'll give them up to an hour in most cases to share whatever their viewpoints or whatever they're working on, their strategies. And you don't get that anywhere else. Right. You might get a 30-second soundbite, something that's, they're trying to draw your attention in, and we give you the whole package. And I know you get the same that as I, a lot of compliments. By the way, good looking new hat.
Oh, thanks. Rowdy Maidco got these for us. So if you need some cool stuff,
there's another local company. Yeah. She was on yesterday with Veronica. I believe.
She was
yesterday. Time's like in a crazy space in my head right now, right?
Well, when you have 20 something hours of shows going on during the week.
We got 25 this week.
25, man.
And at least that many meetings, appointments, and sessions that we're involved in. Yeah. So David, and I'm going to shout David out again. I mean, we've been shouting him out a lot. And Shay, thank you, Shay, is starting to take some of the burden and some of the pressure off him. And David's going to take a little break for a couple of days and go with his family and hang out. So do not pester him over the next couple of days.
Clint.
Just hold. Well, text me.
just
it's okay. Call me if you got my number. I'll talk to you because you all call me.
Oh,
you know what? If I know you and I got the time, we'll chat. I don't have a problem. You know that because I'll pick up the phone at home at 7:00 at night and
Yeah.
Hey, what are you guys doing over there? Come on, take it easy on us. And
yeah, excuse me on that one. Yeah. Okay, so the other thing that I want to talk about is this Sunday, I was given the opportunity, I'd say we were given the opportunity to talk at the Gate Church over here on Ina Road, which is, it's just right across the street here where the old, right next to where the old 99-cent store used to be. Right, it was a 99-cent store, right? They're right there.
Pastor David Willard
and his family, and his team there, his members there. One thing I can tell you is, I go to Oro Valley Church of the Nazarene, right? And that's home, for when I'm connecting and worshiping and building community. I had never been there, and the spirit was there for sure, man. It was a good time, and it was really cool because they've got this southern feel to it that I have never experienced before at a church service, right? You just got the worship music just had this different taste.
Well, remember what church he was at before?
Yeah, the Cowboy Church, right? Yeah. So, no, it was just great. It was really, really, really just laid back and fun. And, between services, there were snacks, and there was people talking. And I tried to talk to as many people as I can. I ran into, and I started talking to this guy named Ken, and we talked about all kinds of stuff. He was from California, and he said he'd been listening to the show, which is really cool. And we got to talk about what we do. And the reason that we got brought in there is they're doing something really cool. And they're sharing how part of their mission is growing with Marana. And it's having influence in Marana and taking care of things in Marana because that's where they're at. And so, if you're looking for a church, I just mentioned two incredible places to go. Yeah. And, it wouldn't burden you at all to check out any of those. I really think if you're looking for something, and it was a real eye-opening experience for me. I'd still consider myself a baby Christian. Yeah. It's only been a couple of years, but to go there here just locally and talk about stuff we were doing and hearing how much they knew about us already. Yeah. And it was really, really just an eye-opening experience. And I would say it was a life-changing experience.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
We were so proud. We saw the pictures and stuff. I was hanging with your wife and kids at
so,
OBCN while you were doing that.
How cool is
that? It's always a treat.
Yeah.
But, you and I was so glad that they invited you because David Willard is an incredible human being. I've known him a number of years. And we've got a lot going here. We do the Live the Dream Media, and we've got other things, but we've got something that you and I created a few years ago. It's a God thing. It's a spiritual. It's called Your Digital Church. It's in the process of being rebranded. We're trying to figure out. We're kind of narrowing in on the new title or name for it. We got a lot of outside sources, people that are coming in. Reverend Sally G. From OBCN, different people coming from that. I was talking to a lot of those people last night. They love what we're doing. And we've got 102,000 followers on Instagram. A lot of them here locally, and a lot of them spread out across the globe. So you were able to share that information with them, which I know excited them because that's the world we live in, where we want to reach as many people, especially we believers. In any capacity, if you're a business person, you want to reach people, but especially in the world we live in, we want to reach as many people and share God's love with as many people as we can. Right?
Yeah. No, it was obvious that people were really hurting for something when we put it together, because we went from no followers to 102,000 in what would you say 6 to 8 months?
Well, you know what? It happened almost overnight when it actually happened. Think about it.
Right.
We had a few, and then all of a sudden at Christmas time, at the end of 03 or 23, there was just this enormous spike.
Yeah.
Tammy got involved. That might have had something to do with it. Certainly had something to do with it because some of the reels were there. But it went, think about that, David. It was jumping 10,000 a day there for a while, which was exciting. We were like blown away by this. And a good friend of mine said, man, there's a bunch of people needing saved, right? And I'm like, yeah, like all of us.
Yeah, it was crazy. So, yeah.
But I'm so glad that they invited you over to share this, because that's the kind of like the heartbeat of Marana. And we both live in Marana and sleep. I sleep in Oro Valley. You sleep in the county. But Marana, that's kind of the heartbeat and the culture of this community that we strive and really try to be involved with our elected officials and the people that run the town, if you will, that we've got to maintain that type of culture, that we're growing. We're tripled in size since I got here, but we got to retain a lot of those core values that got us here, that the community has been built on over a really 100-year period of time.
Right.
And people like the Gate Church are people that are really, involved in that. Because like so many places in the United States, there's a huge, and no offense, because they create a lot of taxes, because we were talking about that in a lunch yesterday. A lot of these big corporations create enormous tax bases for the city. So we're not bashing them, but the small business, that small town feel is where that's where rubber meets the road. And we don't have as many as we should. And a lot of conversations, even with Vice Mayor Roxanne Ziegler last week, was how do we keep what we got? We need the Costco's and the Walmarts of the world, but how do we accent and push that local feel? And Marielle, our good friend at Skinology, who's a part of the chamber, has brought it to our attention. And it was when she did, it was like, yeah, that's true. This plaza that we're in, this strip where we're at, this is where most of those small businesses that operate in Marana are.
Right.
With a little exception of, a few feed stores out in Old Marana. There just aren't that many small businesses anymore. Everything's become corporatized.
Well, it's cool you brought that up, because we had a meeting with a developer was it last week? It was last week.
Thursday or Friday.
And he is looking at, he sees the need of, and in particular, this is like your landscape, your turf companies, your painters, your plumbers, stuff like that. He sees a need for a specific building build.
Yeah. Which
he can accommodate these small businesses where they have their own office. Yeah. They have their own
roll-up door where they can store their equipment.
Yeah, it's a specific build to the needs of that industry and those things going on. Bless you.
Thank you.
He's got the allergies. Yeah. But no, so it's really cool. And the exciting part was he was sharing with us that he's looking at these spots, building them up in Marana, right off of like the Marana I-10 exit area between Tangerine. And all I was talking to him, I'm like, hey, what is it going to cost? What is it going to cost for someone to rent it? And the prices he was talking about was super affordable. And I'm like, this is going to change,
because we know a dozen people right now that you and I know that would fit that profile,
and they're renting like a yard that their stuff
or working out of their own home. In many
working
cases.
Out of home,
which I've done that in the past. And if you start getting equipment and trucks and stuff, that stinks.
Yeah, and when he gets that project,
your neighbors
rolling,
aren't happy with you at that point. By the way,
no. And when he gets that stuff rolling, we're gonna get him in here so he can talk about it, and we'll show some photos and stuff. But I think it's gonna be a huge change in the good for small business up there in Marana, because I just pictured a lot of my friends that I know in business that are doing different things where it gives them this space. And it's cool because the space on the back end, you have your office part, but it had a full kitchen, and it had a half bath in it. So you could do kind of whatever you need to do in there. And it is really, really great. So I think that's one of the things I'm excited to see change over in the next year or two. So if you're listening, pay attention to that and keep listening and watching for when those are going to be available. Because if you're wanting one of those spots, I'm sure they're not going to last long.
Oh, no, for sure. They'll fill up.
Yeah. I even pictured us grabbing one of them.
Yeah. What are we going to use it for?
A whole studio.
Okay, we can do that.
Just kidding. Hey, and they're high up, so you can fit RVs and all kinds of stuff in there too.
I will tell you, because we're talking to a lot of people. Yeah, they love what we're doing. They want their own version of this. If you want your own version of this, contact us. We can set. You want your own radio station? You want your own podcasting studio? We can either set you up in here or set you up where you're at.
Yeah.
Because this is a great way to reach people. The more you talk to people, especially people that are like media savvy, they're like, oh, you guys. Because Chris says it all the time on Wake Up with Chris DeSimone show, 6 to 9, Monday through Friday on the Live to Dream
Shameless
Network.
plug, air horn.
Yeah. Yeah, come on. Thank you for being there, Shay. All the people around him in the media, I think a lot of them, the first response was, "What are you doing?" But now they're all like, "Hey, man."
Yeah, the doubt's gone.
Yeah.
And
if you need the proof, look at the matrix that we have, and we're glad to share it with potential advertisers.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And think of the lack of. I think of Joe Rogan. He's like, "Hey, it's just me and what's this dude? What's this guy? What's his name? The guy he has. It's just him and he was
Jamie.
Is it Jamie?
His tech guy?
Yeah,
Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie. Yeah, it's like it's just Jamie and I.
Yeah,
sitting around a table, bringing in a guest and talking. He goes, we couldn't do this at corporate level. 40 people would have to be involved in it. And Chris has relayed to us in 16 years on KVOI. That's where he was at. So but he said there was constantly people in his ear. You can't say this. You can't talk about that. You need to talk to these people. Don't talk to those people. And I made it pretty clear last night to some people I was talking about. Unless you're just totally loony tunes and crazy or mean or potentially dangerous, I'll talk to anybody. Won't you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to even really like you. That makes it better. But if you got a point to make, jump on.
Yeah, we saw a heated debate in the studio. What was it? Was it last week?
Yeah,
it was last week.
Yeah, respectfully done though. It was heated.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, Andy Biggs was in studio this morning. He was
so let the listeners know who Andy Biggs is.
He is a congressman from the Scottsdale area. He was in the studio this morning, brought his lovely family with him this morning, and was in with Chris and Dan Shear. I believe he's the editor of Green Valley News, as well as a lot of they publish a lot of papers in the Southern Arizona area, and they got pretty heated. And I could see, honestly, in watching it and thinking about it in real moment, it was like, come on, this is rating time here, baby. But when I got to thinking about it later, I could see both. The cool thing was, and I won't dissect it or give the play-by-play, but I could see like both sides of the argument where they came from. There was some legitimacy, and there was some like, you're kind of overplaying your hand here a little bit. This Andy Biggs may be the next governor of the state of Arizona.
Can I share a funny story about that day?
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
After we get done with the show, we knew what had happened was going to cause a stir, and we got some phone calls to use the bit in media up in Phoenix. And I won't say the organization's name or anything, but this story right here is for those people that have experienced doubt and questioning and been clowned on over your dreams or over what you're doing. This
is a validity story. This
is great. So so we do that. We have that bit. We got some news organizations calling to use it and asking if they could give credit to us to use the bit. And the guy that called that I talked to, he says, all right, cool. All right, well, what's the name that we give the attribution to? And I said, well, it's Live the Dream Media. And he laughed. I said, I didn't say anything to him, but in my head, I'm like, that's funny, huh? Okay. Yeah. And I'm like, well, you have a good day, man. Take care. I get off the phone with you, and I went and I told you, and I couldn't help but just think about it the rest of the day.
What did I say?
Because it's just an ironic situation,
What did
right?
I say? And your mother may be listening, so what did I say to you about that?
You said, remember, they called us.
And he's an employee that can be fired tomorrow.
Yeah. So, for me, hearing that, I just wanted to get the biggest sign that said Live the Dream Media, a billboard in downtown Phoenix.
Yeah. Well, we can do that. You want to do that, David?
I think we're going to do that. But hey, you know what? The people are going to do that all the time.
And you posted something last night.
And that's why, it still stemmed from that. Yeah.
And it was just like, hey, you know what? Ignore the doubters. Mm-hmm. If somebody, you know what? don't be ignorant and ignore good advice, because there are people willing to help you. There's a lot of people, tons of people have helped us, David. Ed Honey would be a great example. But you don't have to listen to all the critics, because the critics are sitting on the sideline, basically just sniping. Because we have someone that follows kind of what we're doing. There's been some good reviews, but mostly bad reviews on what we're doing over here, right? And you just ignore them. And as you get, especially if you're pursuing it and you've got your focus, it's pretty easy to ignore the naysayer. Matter of fact, I don't mind the booing, because I mean, I'm living rent free in your head if you're booing me. I'm ignoring you, but I got your attention, right?
Yeah.
When we get a lot of these, you and I talk about it a lot. People from different sources, and we're like you say about them. Okay, well the clowns are gonna do their thing, right? They're gonna have their circus.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's just a good inspirational bit, you know, to go off of.
But who called who?
Exactly. Right? Exactly.
We got the goods. You're calling us for permission, so.
Yeah. Just a funny story. So if you heard that and you've experienced that, you know, feel free to drop it in the comments, and, you know, or if you want to share that piece of the video. I just, it's just funny. So, hey.
Everybody's a critic.
Yeah. And, you know, I take it for what it is.
Yeah.
You know, somebody that thought the name, maybe they think the name and the, you know, whatever is not cool to them, but hey, moving on though. So
real quick.
Yeah.
About live the dream. That's our credo. We're living the dream. We say it all. That's why we chose that. We're living the dream. And if you're living the dream, you hold yourself to a higher standard, because it's not living the nightmare. It's living the dream. That checks us a lot of times. We're going, wait a minute.
Yeah.
If we're doing that, we got to be more proactive and up than negative. Correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But hey, talking about video stuff. So I want to share a way for our viewers and listeners to show support. We've had some questions about how can people help that have been tuning into different shows on the network. And
great advice from a lot of them, by the way.
Yeah, which they're doing great advice. But there's another one. People are wanting to provide monetary gifts, or figure out how they can get involved, right? And the coolest way we have available now is if you go to our YouTube channel, we now have a membership platform on there where you can join, and I believe it's like $2.99 a month. And what's happening on there, and what's going to start happening on there is you're going to get access to behind the scenes stuff happening within the studio. So whatever
that's where $2.99, I'll pay for that.
Whatever Demi's shooting that doesn't make it to the other cut, or maybe there's something that happened in it that we can't share, or we don't want to share, you know, or we've got like a really good nugget, you know, that's just good and we want to put it in the membership area. But on top of that, you'll also get like a loyalty badge showing your involvement and everything. Right. So, you know, I know folks are always commenting, and you'll get priority on comments and different things that we have going on. So if you want to go to our YouTube channel, Live the Dream Media, just look for the button that says join. You can sign up and you'll have access to all those perks, and then any other perks that we add going forward. We will have different membership levels going forward, but you know, that helps us do so much more. When you talk about, well, why are you doing that? First off, we got asked. Okay. Yeah. So the second the second thing is nobody's going to say more to say no to more resources.
Hey, and you know what? If all those fail, just tell us you want to send us some money. David will send you a Square link, and you can just donate $10,000 if you want, or show up here. I'll collect all the cash that you.
You know what though? I got to tell you, Clint, I'm a servant. All right, I serve, so we're gonna give you something for that, which is the membership on YouTube. You got all kinds of cool stuff you can do.
Right now we got hats we're passing out like candy, so there's always that too. T-shirts, bumper, license plates.
Yeah, and we're also gonna have some contests that are gonna be specific to our members on the YouTube channel, the Live the Dream Media YouTube channel, which will be for concerts and other cool stuff that you'll only have the opportunity to win those on if you're a member on our YouTube channel. We'll still do some on our regulars, but the really cool stuff's going to be on the YouTube channel. So go to Live the Dream Media, join, and sign up for your membership. All of the local Marana stuff goes through there. All of our shows from the studio go on that channel. So don't miss out.
That's
Have
real
fun.
easy to find us on the
Right.
Download the app because that makes it easier to listen to. And
the Battle of the Car is the app, right? If you're traveling, doing things, but
do that YouTube. Subscribe to that YouTube because there's a lot. Everything's just right there. It's real easy. Hey, David, without tooting our horn too loud, anybody that knows us knows we're pretty generous people.
Right.
And we're going to become more generous as we grow this thing out. There will be a lot of contests, a lot of freebies. We're going to have parties here on a regular basis. Don't forget the wake up party on St. Patty's Day, Monday. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Shay.
Yeah, and there's a fee for that. But go on and check that out. Buy your tickets now. Going to have a whole bunch of St. Patty's Day food and ambiance going on. So make sure you be a part of that.
Yeah. And I think we're ready to close. You've got a show coming up after this with Edgar Soto, right?
2 minutes trip to the men's room and
grab a new cup of coffee. And I'm gonna, what I'm gonna do an hour from now? I got a meeting right after this with Ron Arenas and his crew and Javier.
And then
I'm heading to San Diego, man. I'm out.
Yay.
So if you need me, just text Clint Peak. One more time, you can call him. I'll put his number on Facebook.
I'm going to say this real quick. Yeah, thanks a lot, Dave. And my address. Hey, no one deserves a little mini break.
Someone said that. Someone said that to me yesterday, and I was like, you know what? I just want to hang out with my kids and I just want to go.
You need to. You need
just
to.
Hang
you
out.
need to because David has really been putting in the.
Yeah,
he's a lot of OT on this thing right now, David. Don't think it's not appreciated.
I appreciate that
by the investors in this corporation. I'm telling you,
in the mud, my friend.
Although who's
living in the mud.
You know who's going to be here for moral support the next 2 mornings?
Who's that?
My bride and I.
Oh, you guys gonna be here in the morning early? Huh?
Oh, yeah. We show up more, midday.
Okay, so if you need to text me early in the morning, you can just reach out to Clint at 5 in the morning. So I'm just messing around.
Hey, thanks, Shay.
Thanks, everybody.
Do a quick reboot, and we'll come back at you in just a minute.
All right, guys, have a good one. Thank you, Marana.